Hello, this is Jamie Magrich. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's dimensional. It folds up. It will fit into a standard size envelope. It's just a little bit of dimension to it. It will stand on your desk. Or your mantle or wherever if you want it that way. I just had fun with this design from my simple to avid, and then I tried playing with this card, so I really like this. So let's get started. It uses, let me put this here so I can actually see what I'm doing. It uses Four Seasons Floral. I'm going to use this one. The sentiment is from A Wish for Everything, a merry little wish for a lot of joy this season. And then I got the boots from under my umbrella to make Santa's boots. Okay. I also am using the square dies. I'm using the largest of the square dies and the largest of the stitched squares from the stitch shapes. Okay, for paper, this one I'm going to add behind here a layer of gold foil, and maybe behind this, we'll see. I might not end up doing that, but I have a strip of gold foil. This is 3/4 of an inch by 2 3/4 of an inch. I have a strip of white for my sentiment, which is 2 1/2 inches by 1/2 inch. I have the largest stitch square die cut out, and then the largest regular square cut out of the gold foil. I got a piece here. Let's grab this. I have a piece of real red. This is 3 by 5, and I have a piece of real red which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/4. It's just a hair less than 8 1/4, and I think I might have cut this wrong, so I'll have to go back and fix that. And then this one is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. Okay, so let's get started. Let me check my measure on this, and I'll be right back. I almost forgot to turn the camera back on. I'm going to bring in the pieces that need stamping. We'll bring in the trimmer in a minute to do our scoring on that other piece. Foil ones up here so they don't get lost. And let's stamp this one first. Okay. So what I did, I'm going to bring in this and my Memento ink. It's the only ink pad, and then we're going to use blends again. So I'm going to start by stamping the floral image first. Towards the top of this, as far as you probably can. And I'm going to take a Post-it note, and I'm going to stamp it without re-inking it. Bring in my snips. You can use a regular size Post-it note, that's fine. This is just what I had here, because you really only need this bottom part here. I'm going to trim out this bottom part. It doesn't have to be exact. Actually, probably better off cutting inside the lines, because then there's no white shadow, or it lessens it. I'll just do this one a little bit here, okay? See? Okay, so now I'm going to bring this back in. I'm going to place this over that. And I stamped it, the bottom of it, where the sticky is, so I get a little bit of sticky. Then I'm going to bring in my boots. Where are they? And I'm going to stamp my boots. That way the flowers look like they're inside the boot. If it's not perfect, it's fine because we're going to put a bow over the top of it anyway. See? It makes it look like the flowers are inside the boots. Okay. Set that aside for a minute. We're gonna, oh, I did use another ink pad, I forgot. I used the Real Red for the sentiment, so let's bring that in. I'm gonna wash this because I used black on it last. Don't want to contaminate. Oh, this one's dried up. Where's my other one? Well, we'll do this. Use this in a bit, but we'll use this one. Squirt on the wet side. Scrub. Dry it off. Awesome. Some dog hair all over it. I should get that washed. Okay. I'm going to stamp right in the center of this little strip here, or try to. Very good. Okay. So we're done with the sentiment. We're done with the red ink. And we're going to bring in our 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of Whisper White. And we're going to do the same thing we did on my previous cards. I'm going to just stamp the whole, oh, you might not have seen that one. I'm going to stamp the whole background with this poinsettia. And so I'm going to have some of it going off the edge a little bit, varying how much is going off the edge, turning it just a little bit. I'm not doing any upside down, I'm just changing the position slightly. It's better to try and not overlap them, but if you do a little bit, that's okay. Basically just filling in this background. We want to do the whole thing because we're going to cut it up into strips to fill in our card. Sorry about that. The windows are open. I don't have air conditioning and it's like 90 some degrees today, so. Alright, that looks pretty good. Alright, so we're done with the stamping. Find where I did with my lid. Put that away. Okay, let me bring in my trimmer. On this piece, where can you see it better? I guess you can see it there. So I'll get this out of the way because we're done with it. We want it to go this way up. So on the bottom edge, we're going to cut off 2 strips that are 3/4 of an inch. Excuse me, I'm back. So we're going to cut off 3/4 of an inch off the bottom edge. So this is the top edge. We want to cut off 3/4 of an inch. You can do it on either side, doesn't really matter for that 3/4 of an inch. And normally I go, I think that went crooked, but we're going to go with it anyways. 3/4 of an inch. Certainly did. Let's see if I can straighten it out just a little bit. It's going to bug me if I don't. Come on, go in there. Yeah. sure it worked, but okay. I'm gonna keep them the way they're supposed to be, and I've already lost how they are, but I guess it goes like that, okay? And then this piece is the last piece, okay? So those are the 3 pieces we need for that. Now we're going to bring in, let's do the 3 by 5 inch one first. And we're going to score this time, so we want to put the cutting blade out of the way. We're going to put it in so the long way is at the top. We're going to score it at 3 inches. Oh, this isn't the 3 by 5. That's the longer one. This is the only, since I cut it wrong, this would be that much, is the only piece of paper that is left from a one sheet of 8.5 by 11 paper. So this is the 3 by 5, yep, okay, and we're going to score it on the 5-inch side at 3 inches. Score, score, 3 inches, and 4 inches. Okay, so we've got 2 folds like that. Okay, the 8 1/4, and it's just a scant, like not even a 1/16 less than 8 1/4. There's 8 1/4. Can you see it? I don't know if you can. And I just did it like a tiniest little bit less. It's like maybe a 1/16. Okay, and on this one we're going to score at 4 1/4. Make sure it's in there straight. 5 1/4. So every inch. I want my panel to be 4 1/4 when I'm finished. 6 1/4, which is right here on this little 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. And 7 1/4. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little boxes, or little walls. So we're going to make that shape there. Okay, so we're done with the scoring, done with the cutting. Let's put this aside. Let's bring in our markers and let's go ahead and color this. I have Mango Melody, Pool Party, Old Olive, Real Red, Black, and the Color Lifter. So let's do the flowers first, and I'm going to do the dark Mango Melody in the center. I'm going to do a little sea of dark on these berries. Come in with the light, finish the berries. I'm going to do a little bit of light on these leaves here, just to give them a little bit more something. Okay, on the rest of the leaves I'm going to take the dark, and I'm using the small tip on mine because the large tip is getting pretty beat. At the base of the leaves, and where the seam is, or the let's see, I'm doing the dark green, coming in with the light Old Olive. Oh, maybe it's my light one that needs replaced, and I'm gonna fill in the rest of that. It's okay if you leave a little bit of yellow. And then I'm going to do the rest of these leaves. missed a berry. Okay, and down here where there's space between the boot, I'm going to fill it in with the green. Let's come fill in that berry. Okay, now for the flower, I'm going to take the dark, and I'm going to use the dark real red down the center and at the base of each one of the flowers, petals, each one of the petals. Try to do it a little bit neater so I don't have to go back and fix things. And you'll see I've gone over the edge a little bit with the green here. It's not going to matter because poinsettias have a little bit of green on their leaves anyways. Go in with the light one, color over. Sometimes I find it's easier to turn the paper if I need to get into a tight space. I love poinsettias. I draw them quite frequently. I paint them for Christmas. And I forgot one thing. I want to come in with either the light or the dark of the old olive. It doesn't really matter which. And I'm going to color this pine branch. And since it's not a piece you color in, I'm just putting color around the edge of it. Okay, now I'm going to come in for the boots. And you're gonna think, wow, that's dark. The blacks are very dark, and I'm going to use the smaller tip for this one. And I'm going to just put some of this dark here at the top on the right and left sides. I'm going to bring this in so you can actually see. Down this side here, I did flicks like this, right down the side. I did a little bit up here at this top here. And then down here where the boot would fold, I did like a curved line. The bottom here. Okay, now here there's going to be a shadow, but you don't want the two boots to look like they're one, so you're going to go over a little bit from the first boot so that there's a little bit of a lighter space to do your shadowing. Okay. And then we're going to come in with the light. We're going to fill it all in. It's going to look awful dark. It's alright. I did do this right. Yeah, this is the light. Looks so dark, and then we'll come in with the color lifter and add some highlights. Okay, then I'm going to take the color lifter and down the center of the boot I'm just going to do little scribbly hatchy lines on the top of the toe here where it would be highlighted a little bit. Where the natural, where the light would be shining or reflecting on those patent leather boots. You need to go back in with a little bit of the dark. Add a little bit of that dark back in. Okay, and then I think on this one I brought in I used this light smoky slate for underneath it. dark underneath it, a dark smoky slate, just for a little bit different color. Okay, and that's how I colored it. And then we'll bring in the Wink of Stella. We'll add some Wink of Stella over this. And if you'd like to add a shadow around it, bring in the Light Pool Party. I'm going to do it real fast. Just add the pool party around the... Show you the difference of the two. One with and one without. This isn't necessary. I just find it adds just a little bit of dimension.
There's the one with the highlight, here's the one without.
Add a little bit more white highlights in here. Just a few more. There we go. Alright, now let's put this together. Let's get these out of the way. Bands in there so I don't lose them. Okay. I'm going to add these gold pieces, so let's do that first. Go ahead and add that on there. Okay, I need to trim the tails on this. I think I'm going to do it a little bit differently than I did on my first one. I'm going to bring in a punch. There's a new punch in the new catalog, which I can't wait. It might be fun to get. I don't know if I'll be able to get it right away. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack that on top on one end so that they're the same. And then I'm going to come in . This is a tailored tag punch. Make sure that that is in there right. I'm shaky today for some. Seems to be getting that way often lately. Punch. Okay, then when I push it down to the other end, I'm going to do the same thing. Then when I mount it in the center, it'll be perfect. They'll match up. Okay. Okay, put that in the center there. Equal space around it. We'll get dimensionals put on the back of it. But I want to make sure the dimensionals are up towards the top. Let's see if we can get that on. Not really. Because I did it wrong. Down towards the bottom because the top's going to hang off. Alright, say that again. I want to make sure the dimensionals are down towards the bottom edge of it because the top edge is going to hang off of the box. So put them down towards the bottom. Okay. Now, let's build this. This is going to go like this. So we need to put glue here, or tape. Let me use the Seal Plus. I haven't used that yet today. Alright. There are little sections and then a big section. We're going to fold over the two I'm on the one closest to the big section now. Scoring's a little crooked, but we're going to go with it. We're going to fold this completely over on top of it. And when we open it up, we have our folding box, okay? So now we're going to bring in these pieces. The big one's going to go here. Come on. There we go. I'm pushing too hard. Doesn't like that. Okay, so this one's going to go here. And there's going to be about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch border on the two sides. Which way does it go? I suppose I should know that before I... Goes this way. Okay. I must put it on upside down. Alright, so that's center up there.
See what I'm doing?
Okay, there's quite a bit of space there, that's fine. This one's next. Don't have to push down so hard. That's what my problem is. I push on, pushing down harder when it doesn't come, and then it doesn't come. Okay, this next piece is going on to this little flap here. Now you could maybe do that before we put it together, but I find it easier to just do it now. Goes there on the front. Okay. Now we're gonna bring in this piece. It's gonna sit on here like this. So what I did is, so that I knew that it wasn't gonna fold over the top of the box, I folded it like that. You see, there's the two flaps open inside. Folded it like that. I'm going to make sure it's straight here on there. I'm going to open this up and put tape or glue right there. I'm going to open this up. And basically, this seam line is lining up with the edge of this cardstock here, the one we stamped on. Put glue on here. So hard, Jane. Light touch, light touch. Okay. And then we can fold this piece down. We can fold this piece down. Make sure your box is squashed. And when you open it, you have your platform. Okay, now we can put our decorations on. This is going to go on here. And I like that with the gold on there. It adds a little bit. We'll add our sentiment. I probably should have moved this over just a little bit, but that's alright. Where do we want to put this? Do we want to move it? Just make sure your dimensional is not sticking over so it doesn't. Okay. I think I probably stamped it this way a little bit farther on my box. Plus, this has that extra from the gold foil. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in a knot. Oh, I forgot a step. That's alright, we'll do it now. I'm going to take this piece of ribbon. This is 9 inches. 8.5, 9 inches. And this space here between this and this, we're going to put this ribbon in there. We're going to fold it over the back. And we're going to tape it. Got household tape here. Kind you use for packet for wrapping presents with. Okay. I've got another piece of whisper white here. I need to trim it a little bit. Right back, 4 by 5.25. I'm always forgetting something, I just couldn't remember what. So we have 2 pieces that are 4 by 5.25. One we're going to stamp for the background, and this one we're going to just put here. Come on. Slow and steady, light. I know you're not supposed to need as much, but I don't like my cards falling apart. It's just me. Okay, put that down. Okay, now we'll bring in our little knot. Where is it? There it is. Okay, now I could have put a bow on there, but I didn't really like it. I think it's overpowering, so I just did a little knot. Then, if you don't feel comfortable making a mask, you can hide the fact that you double stamp there. And then I'm going to bring in some gems. You can either use the holiday rhinestones, I'll do the holiday ones, or you can use the red basic rhinestones. I'm going to put a big one here. Oops, stick. A little one over here. It's sticking to me, not the paper. And another little one over here next to the sentiment over here. There we go.
There's a card we just made together. This one I added the gold foil on.
Oops, my gem's still sticking to me and not the paper. Alright.
Here's the one I did previously without the gold foil. Which one would you prefer? Well, thanks for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper. Have a great day, everybody.